My name is Valentina Serrati. I'm a media artist, performer, professor for almost more than 20 years, and researcher in the fields of art, science, and technology, with a special attention in nature. For a long time, I was related to a body of work that related human body with technology, landscape, and then I realized working with technologies led me with a relationship with biotechnologies. So in my research, even though I can navigate from different forms and expressions, artistic languages like maybe a performance installation, maybe visuals for a audiovisual concert, or maybe working more with the body and projections or installations. The internet network, and we work as a network, and artists in Chile, we support a lot each other. We have a strong network, even though sometimes it can be with some problems, but still I think we're really strong as a network. And I saw Maria Luisa do this project from a distance, and I was so impressed. I said, oh my God, it's like 3 territories and this group of people. And because with Maria Luisa we share for a long time our love and passion of arts and science, and we're close friends. So I said, oh my God, I cannot believe this amazing project. I never thought I was going to be part of it. So when she asked me, it was such a coincidence, because I was just applied to a funding to do. I just applied for a funding to do a residency with Museo del Hongo, and I just won with this idea of working with mycelium bones, and I was like, I was so excited because I met these scientists and designers at Valdivia, LACBA, that work this way with mycelium, and then I was, well, maybe I have something. I finally just touched this little part of the incredible forest of mycelium, just the beginning, and maybe this coincidence means something. So when I went into the group, I saw the same questions that we have as a Chilean community. So you're all from different places, but we have the same questions. And even though what I like about this group is that you go further, you're always like questioning yourselves inside of the network you already have. So this network inside of Fungi Cosmology is a network that changes a lot, changes every day, the discussion changes, the perspective changes, and you're very rigorous with critical thinking. So for me, I feel very at home, because I want these uncomfortable questions, which at the moment, if we discuss them in a group, maybe I cannot have an answer, but they stay with me. And then because we have a residency and we share the day-to-day, that uncomfortable question that was set out goes with me. And then I have kind of, oh, okay, this is it. So maybe what makes me uncomfortable is a thing I have to go deeper. So this is a thing I'll never get in a regular routine in my life, or even though we go to seminars and we talk with artists. Being in this specific fungi cosmology group gave me this very rigorous way of thinking in a good way, and always challenging my previous idea about my answer. So this is a place I really like to be, and I think it's precious because residencies can be also about just, thinking about oneself's research and just communicating with the other. But this residency, I think, is more critical, more reflective, and more challenging. Each of the nodes of our network are very strong, and we change places all the time. So I love that. So I'm very comfortable with that. I think it's destiny. I mean, I've been doing a very mindful work with art and science, not only in my research. I think I've been in connection with the community in a very mindful way. What I try to do with Prisma is criticize academic kind of behavior, that we isolate and we do this amazing research in art and science, but they stay at the library. We don't do bridges with outside the community of academy. And at the same time, people outside the academy are doing great jobs and great projects, and we don't take their, their dialogues, their content for our reflection and also for the students. So I think it's destiny in a way. I have a chance to become part of the group, but at the same time, it was meant to be in a way. Like I've been insisting for a long time. I also come to this territory a lot, which is not very common. It's not very usual to come to Tierra del Fuego, and I did a project also with Antarctica, artists in the Antarctica, artists in Puerto Williams. So it happens to me in Chile that every time I go to a place that is far away, I always come back, the desert or Antarctica or the south or the north, because I think there's a continuum of these ideas floating, and then they just, become alive. So I think it's quite magical. And then when I interact with the group, I think I can offer something that maybe is not there yet, and I can offer something a little bit new, not new, but a little bit different. And I really want to make a contribution to the project. So that's, I think, I'm here. I have a destiny kind of, but I don't know the final result, and I don't really care. I just enjoy very much the opportunity I have to be here with this group of people. Yeah. We have this question a lot in Prisma because, we always are extracting information and research and ideas from science and scientists in a dialogue, and we're so eager and we're so hungry about content. And then the scientist said, well, how about we do the full circle, What can artists give to science? Or question. I think we can question some things. We can be more reflective and critical thinking. For example, in some projects that is very common in other parts of the world. You have an innovation technology project. So you have the engineer, the designer, the scientist, and then you have the artist. So how come we put an artist in this just innovation technology effort for industrial means? So the artist is there to question all of them, because technology goes super fast, and we just want to achieve a goal, the name, maybe a brand, a pattern, or something. And artists are there to say, oh, hey, maybe this is not so good, or maybe we can have this different approach. I think artists can also offer new ways of thinking to scientists. I heard this once, I don't know if it's true, but they were talking about how science fiction influence scientists, you know? If they watch science fiction, then they have new questions for science, and then the results of science become science fiction, and then you go back. So in a way, we can offer new fictions, speculative fictions for science. So maybe you can do a silly question as an artist to a scientist, and he'll tell you, "Oh, that's not that silly. Let me look for a paper that I think we can find an answer." And then novelty, these ideas out of the box, or maybe also the image of the future. What kind of future do we want? Do we want to go really fast and don't think about the consequences of technology, innovation, and everything in science? It's just achieve something, get the funding, yeah? Or do we want to maybe have a different frame and narrative that the artist can offer the scientists? And this is happening in other places, but because, for example, in Chile, it's very conservative the way we teach at university. Super separate fields, and one is very science in Chile is super important because of our landscape, the products we have, and of course there's a lot of funding for science. And then the artist is quite the opposite, arts, it's special in Chile, but they're not that important. We don't have a lot of funding, and so people misjudge. So they're very far away. So when we do this effort, also people can look at arts and science as a way, to do better and to question it.